we look at this for, who knows, 90% of our whole lives. And in my opinion, it's a little bit blah. If I'm gonna look at it, I like to have something that inspires me, a little bit more exciting. So today we're gonna be installing a new face gauge with a new lens. So first step, let's get started. First step, you wanna go ahead and see where your gauges are. You wanna mark them. And literally mark them. Remember where they are, you can take a picture. Some of these USSPEEDO gauges come with a little paper diagram so you can mark where the gauges are. I say just take a picture, get real close, because you only get one shot. You don't want to be going 100 when it looks like you're only going 50. So, piece of paper that it comes with where you can mark the gauges. One thing to keep in mind, you want to mark the gauges, which means where they're gonna be, so you can kind of know if they're in the right place. So, you put the key in the that's the 1 position. This is the actual 2 position, so you can actually see where they are supposed to be. But let me back up and say this. Once you remove the gauges and you put the faceplate on, and then you want to put the new needles on, because you do get new needles with your face gauge. So these new needles, typically they come with them. You don't, not every USSPEEDO gauge has one, but if you're gonna make it look nice, you will get new needles. The position to put the new needles on, it has to be in the 1 position, meaning the first position you turn it to. So you notice when you turn it to the first position, none of the gauges are going. They're either 0 or they're low. This is the position you put the gauges back on. You never put the gauges on when you're in the on position. You put them on when it's in, again, first position. Got it? Very, very important. I did this once before on another car of mine, and it was wacko. It took me like 10 times. I was putting the needles on, and I thought I was following the instructions, but I obviously didn't. I was putting the needles on while the vehicle was either on or in the, or the engine wasn't on, but the vehicle was in the on position, and it just didn't work out right. I had to use GPS to be able to calculate it properly. So just do it right the first time. Again, take the needles off, make sure you know where they are, but regardless, it actually has it memorized. So if you just simply put it in the first position that you got to, you put it on there, then you'll verify when you actually click it on, whether it's all in the right place. One, get this vent out. There's a clip literally right here. So you see this little black piece? That little black piece right there, that's the makings of a clip. So I'm gonna show you. See if I can see it. It's that piece right there. Anyways, you're just gonna slip a little panel clip tool. I use 2 and just kind of finagle it, and it'll come out. It'll just pop up. So just gonna go underneath, bam, until it comes out. Make sure you're on the clip so it's not anywhere else. And voila. I'll need 2 hands. So you know, this little piece on the right hand side seemed a little stuck, but it's just because of this little clip right here. So just keep going and it'll just pop out. Again, just popped it upward and it'll pop out. That's the first step. Goal is to get this little piece right here. And a little tip is to make sure you don't scratch up your vehicle. I put a little Tessa tape on the ends of my panel clips. Removers, just so I can, it's Tessa tape, it's just very, very soft. You can use electrical tape, just something that is not abrasive, so you don't scratch up, or you scratch up less. The normal Phillips screw. Then you're gonna go ahead and go to the right side, remove this, and you're gonna start here. Just get the pliers in there a little bit. Once you wedge it, you'll notice it gets a little loose. To make it easier, you wanna get this, put your key in the ignition, get it in some kind of position. Move this down, that'll allow you to be able to get in here a little bit. And you notice the clip is right here. Just kind of get in there and I just got in there, got a little bit of wiggle room and used my fingers and just pulled and it just kind of came out. And you don't have to get it out all the way, just get it out enough where you can get it out, So do that real quick and we'll go to the next steps. These 2 screws here, these are again also Phillips, just underneath the dash so you can kind of see. It's just more of a shroud. There's one there, and there's one on the other side as well. Again, to make it easier, put this down. There's one there. Got those 2 off. And you're simply gonna just grab and pull these off, and that'll allow you to be able to pull this lens off. Now, just simply gonna pull first. If you push that down, that'll help you. Just gonna pull with one hand. And this is just coming in. Oops. That was the key. Pulling these sides. That was the key. Once you get that one side, the other will come out easily. Just like so. And there it is. Now, this lens should just come off. So, I'm gonna try one hand here. I think I might need two here, guys, but I'm gonna try one first. All right, actually, not bad. Oh, whoops. Gotta take, I'm gonna get the lens off. Well, never take the whole gauge off. Those are the 7mm, I believe. I'm gonna verify real quick. Let's see. Now, one thing that helps is a handy dandy little twisty extension. This is a 1/4 inch. Okay. Let's see. No, actually it's not. Well, let me find out what size. This face here, these are just held in by pop clips. Just grab each corner, one hand here, and pop. Go to the same thing, one hand here, and pop. So, let's see how I do it. One hand. Ah, there it is. And go underneath. Same thing. One hand here, one hand here. Ah, dang it. Let's see if I can do this here with one hand. All right, so that's what you do. Just grab it, and then I'll do it, and I will confirm. Pull here, you'll hear a pop. Then you'll just kind of wedge in underneath them, boom, pop. You hear the pull pop, comes out. Same thing on this side, comes out, and that's what it looks like. So these clips are what holds it in. Nothing to break. Again, as long as you're putting pressure on the proper side. Next step is what I was talking about earlier. I just have to go ahead and take out these 7mm. I was right, it was 7mm. For some reason I had a 12mm. Now, I can't find my 1/4 inch driver, so I'm just gonna use a ratchet. Get it to where I can just do it by hand next. Next. Last but not least. Alright, you're gonna go ahead and knock this out, and you're gonna pull up the gauge on the bottom side up and out, not the top side. And then, alright, let's try this. So now, so we'll take it off by hand. So it doesn't drop. I remember I had a couple of those happen. Just be patient. When you get close, either make sure you have a magnetic bit, or just take it off by hand so that you don't end up having to scrape for screws and separate them. I'm putting the lens screws there, gauge screws there. So let's see if I can just take it off by hand here. Actually, I can. So, oh, nope. Gonna keep going. Almost. The pressure from releasing the other one must have done its thing. Okay. Should be sufficient. Oh, the hand does get tired though. I love it. It's a good workout. Okay, that one's kind of deep, so I might just take that one out. It comes out by itself. There it is, out. And last but not least, boy, if you had a driver, that would make this much easier. All right. Let's see if I can just remove these. Yes. Now, like I said, down and out. You're gonna see the plug, so it's still connected. And one thing I would do is, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the steering. Press it, lower it so it can have room to jump out, but you can do it sideways, so you gotta down, out, and then to the right. It'll give you some room to kind of see what you're doing. There's the plug right there. There's the plug right there. There's a clip on the back. You'll just press down, pull off, done. Any electrical wackos, I went ahead and put the car in the park position. So the key off. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the gauge from the hoist. So, just like so. Just gonna press. Oh, let's see if I can get in here. Yep, real easy. Press down and pull. I'll do that with 2 hands. This is a simple part. In about 5 minutes, we'll have it looking like a custom show car. So these clips here, 1, 2, you just gotta really press those down and everything just comes out. It's real easy. Now I'm gonna use 2 hands showing you guys what to do, but let's see if I can do it with 1. It's very simple. I'm sorry. All right, just so you know, so you do that for the front. Now, if, for example, you wanted to replace the LEDs, and some of them you have to solder, you'll just simply pop these off here, 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 and you go from there. So let me do that with 2 hands. Here it is removed. That's it. That's all that holds it. Just these clips. This is it, guys. That's all it is. So now that the gauges are marked, I know where they are. Key now is you're going to turn it down, and then you're going to remove it. I'll show you that shortly. Piece that helps you, looks like this, but it's white and it's all the way up here. Helps you just kind of pop these off, but this one didn't come with one. In addition to helping you pop it off, it helps you gauge how much to press it down. Because like I said, I did this in the past and I pressed it down too hard. You don't want to do that. It needs to be in the middle. So I have a trick for this one, but for now, to take these down and make it easier to move, you just simply turn these downward. Downward, downward. And notice I have my tester tape to try to prevent from scratching this thing. Well, I guess it doesn't matter since this is the old one, but again, I'll need 2 hands on this one, but you'll simply go in, pop, go in, pop, go in, pop, okay? Face gauge is off, the rest is easy. Just literally grab it from one end. Yeah, there's 2 here. Grab it from one end and you just simply remove. These are the pieces here that keep it in. Get there, move. That's it. This is it, guys. This has all the gauges you're needing here. Like I said, I took apart the park, but if you ever needed to change the LEDs, you need to solder them in. But that's easy as getting a soldering gun. But if you just pull this off, you know, you'd be able to do that real easy. But this is what it is. So make sure you put this back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the back part on since I'm not doing anything on the back, but I just wanted to show you. Let's get it on. Now you don't want to touch the actual new face gauge with your fingers, because the oils from your hands will get on the face gauge. So for that, to give you access to be able to move it, they gave you these gloves. Now it's time to put them on because you're going to be touching it to put the gauges back. Go ahead and get it in and plug it back in. And while it's plugged back in and the key is in the on position, that's when you're going to put your gauges back, or the spindles. And you know what's interesting? Have you ever met a girl who you knew looked good, but it wasn't just one thing? It was like a combination of things, and you couldn't pinpoint what it was, but you know it all added up to be what she looked like, right? So it's kind of like that thing. One of the things that makes this face gauge so awesome, or face gauge facelifts on vehicles so awesome, it isn't just the face gauge. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I would prefer stainless steel, but it was a little more expensive than I wanted to spend. One of the keys to this is actually the needles. You'd be surprised. Just, I mean, compare these two needles, you know, the old versus the new. I mean, these, it seems so small, but that new needle that you're looking at, it makes such a big difference. It's like the mascara, the lipstick, you know, just the small details is what really makes that difference. So just a heads up that if you're gonna get a new face gauge, you should get the needles with it. Get it down like so, and I just simply snaked the cord in. I'm just gonna snip it in, and then I'm gonna plug it back in that way. So let's see if I can use one hand on this one. I think I might need two here. Yep, need to. Now you're gonna put the key, and you're gonna take it to the first position, and then you're gonna use your gauges, and this is when you're gonna put them to the position you had them marked when they were in the first position. And once you got all these needles popped in, then when you put it in the run position, which is in the position number 2, it'll go back to where it was originally. So I'm gonna do that real quick. All right, this is where I'm at so far. Got those 2. Just got to do these 3. The little spindle, getting it in somewhat. Oops. This one's a little more tricky. It came off of his home. There we go. Gotta push it. Looks like I didn't push it in all the way. There we go. Now it's in. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna not twist the motor, but just once it's in the spindle, twist. Can't see, I know, but. Okay. Now that it's somewhat in, I'm going to just pull out a little bit, or it doesn't matter, and go to where it was. Oops. I don't want to really move the motor. Just want to. There we go. I think it's right there. This is where that little tool that they come with, that they usually bring with it, would really come in handy. All right. So this is the final product. If you mess up, no biggie. All you need to do is just unplug it and start over. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lens back on, and we'll just put everything back together in reverse order. So here is the final product. It looks good, right? So let's test her. Now I'm not gonna turn it on because I'm actually fixing another piece. Took out the fuel line and everything else, so I don't want that spurting everywhere, but it's pretty good. I went ahead and vinyl wrapped the little cluster area. I thought that it would be a little bit more cool. I mean, you look at this all the time, might as well feel like $1,000, right? It's real simple. We'll go over that another time, but here it is. I'm gonna maybe get some different vinyl, but I want to kind of change this up a little bit. Notice the difference. But that's it, guys. Here's the final product. Looks good. If it was helpful, hey, you know what to do. Like, comment, share, and hit that subscribe button. Magnificent signing out.